will help you through the journey. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Well, that
But
was
what questions do you have for me? If you have any questions,
no,
please
this
feel
is
free
more
to
like
ask, because if
this
I
is
can be a
really
blessing to someone else.
yeah, it's really free forming. I just wanted you to talk about the things that kind of hit your soul and hit your heart, because I think it's those things, not a bunch of kind of pre-described, pre-prescribed questions. It's those things that actually speak to the heart of people. And
Hmm.
one thing that you and I are born the same day. One thing that
Yes,
I think that we probably share in common is that we actually do care. We actually
yes,
really do care. Um,
yes.
and some people are performative, and I'm not dissing anybody, but at the end of the
No,
day,
I understand.
this is not for show. If only 3 people watch this video, but one person is blessed, then we did our job,
Yes,
right? If
yes,
30,000 people
yes,
watch this video and 5 people are blessed, then we've done our job. And so my goal
yes.
is just to open up the conversation, so that people know, there's scary parts of this process. But when I
Hmm.
get through it, two, this is the voice of women who have been through it. And
Yes,
at the end of the day, and I will put a link in below in the box. I just want people to have the resources that they need, to talk
yes,
to people. I just met with a friend on Friday, and I won't get into all of her business because I'm not sure if it's for public consumption at this point. But she just bought.
yes.
She's a sister in faith, and she just bought a horse farm.
Hmm.
She's not a horse
Hmm.
kind of person, but she said God
Hmm.
gnawing at her that she needed to create this wellness space for
Hmm.
kids and people with PTSD or who suffered through cancer,
Hmm.
whatever the things are. Um,
Yes.
they can take care of an animal. So there's an equestrian therapy. And she found somebody that's willing to volunteer their time to do it for free. And just like all of
Hmm.
things are just falling into place because she's following God's
Yes.
plan for her life. And so I just want people to know that there are regular people out there,
Hmm.
don't have PhDs and a bunch of letters after our names, but we truly care. And if
Yes.
point you in the right direction, if we're not the right person, we can point you in the right direction of a
Yes.
resource, then we've done our job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my
And
goal.
that, well, you accomplished your goal. And so I am very proud of you. And if this can be a blessing to anyone, and if someone wants to ask me a question, and they communicate with you, feel free to pass it on to me and I will answer it to the best of my knowledge. Um, but yes, it's very important. And if there's someone who has children, please talk to your children, spend time with them. Sometimes we get so busy, that in life and or what we're going through, that people forget that, you know what, even though they're young, they're still
Very
smart.
effective.
They're
Absolutely.
observant. They're paying attention. Even if you don't tell them, they know something is going on. That, yeah, they're sensitive.
Mhm.
Because even for our children, as young as they were, we didn't tell them
How old were they
anything
at the
right
time?
away. Um, let's see, 2012. So at that time, the twins were around 10.
Okay.
And so, and then the oldest was around 13.
Okay.
Yeah, around that
Boys,
age.
I would say it's even, my girlfriend that I spoke to before you, she has 2 little girls, and so
Mm-hmm.
they're super inquisitive, and they wanna be like mommy, and
Mm-hmm.
seeing mommy go through all
Mm-hmm.
these surgeries, and, but I think with boys, because our society does not necessarily, um, encourage that kind of vulnerability, where you ask questions,
Mm-hmm.
where you say, "I'm hurting," where you go to the guidance counselor and you say, "Our inside, we have faith, we were raised a certain way, but I'm confused. Like, why is this happening to my mom?"
Mm-hmm.
And so I do
Mm-hmm.
boys need an outlet as well, and maybe a special outlet. I'm not sure about that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to look at the research around it. But I do think because our society doesn't allow them to be as communicative, as vulnerable, as open hearted. that there's a special place in my heart as a boy mom. I know you're,
Mhm.
but there's a special place in my heart for boys to be able to be given that agency to talk about the hard things when the people that rely on the most are not in the best condition. And so, I definitely
Yeah.
want to make sure that we highlight that.
Yes. For them, what I could say in regard was by time we did tell them, because we wanted to know for sure. So
Got-
we waited until the diagnosis and so forth. Um, and so they were like, why didn't you guys just tell us from the beginning? We knew something was going on, something wasn't right, but we didn't know what. As parents, we didn't want to overload them.
Mhm,
Um, and so we waited until we knew sure in terms of, diagnosis of the testing,
mhm,
what the results were and then being able to say, okay, this is what the results are. This is what we're dealing with. Um, and we're here for you. And they didn't share this until long after
oh,
I
wow.
was that one of the things, now that part they did share, why didn't you just tell us from the beginning, but what they didn't share until years later was that one of their biggest fears was that they would get off the school bus and come home and Cliff would have a talk with them and say, Mom is no longer here.
Mm,
That was their biggest fear.
mm,
And so um, I was like, wow, even all the times we talked, they never expressed that.
mm,
Uh, because even our youngest son said, Mom, what was a challenge for us was we would come home from school and we weren't used to seeing you in bed, you
uh,
know. Um, and so here he said sometimes it was hard to know what to say because you would be happy and have a smile on your face and you would be encouraging us, um, and I would always give them a hug and a kiss and but we knew you were sick and we didn't know what to do.
right.
We didn't know what to say. So even going back to the humor, movies and so forth, that was their way of contributing and helping towards my treatment, which was greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but I got an insight into how they were feeling and what they were going through during that time. Um, and so it's very important because I know, especially with our oldest son, because he was older and he understood more than they did, for him, it did have an effect on his schooling.
Mm,
And so one of the things I had done was I had talked with his counselor, with his teachers. I wish I had done it sooner.
mm,
Um, so that's something that parents may want to reach out when they're going through that and just let the teachers and the counselors know, or that this is what's happening at home.
right.
So if you see a change, this is what's going on.
Correct.
And so once they knew, um, they were very helpful,
Okay.
and just coming alongside and being supportive. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome. Yeah. That's what these kids need.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
You
sharing.
are more than welcome.
I appreciate this. Will get spliced down into a significantly shorter story, but um,
Okay.
I just wanted it to be free flowing because I think that's how it feels the most natural and will have the most impact.
Yes, yes.
Thank you
Well,
again.
you are more than welcome. Love you. Yes.
All right, and we got to
And
keep spreading this message because I want, early detection helps. I was just talking to my last girlfriend um,
yes.
about 3D mammography and how
Mhm.
more than 40% of cases are delayed in diagnosis because they're not utilizing 3D mammography as a standard, which they
They-
should. Uh,
And they should. And what women should do is ask. Ask if it's available, and request it.
yep.
And they can check and see if your insurance will cover it because many times it does. It's just that because it's not being asked for. I know in my case, that's what I have when I go for my exam,
Right.
and it's covered by the insurance. So women should definitely ask if it's not being offered.
Okay.
Um, and then if where they're going is not being offered, ask if there's somewhere locally
Right.
where they can have it done. Yeah,
Right.
that's important. That's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing your Sunday afternoon with us. I know you want to put
Oh,
on
you're more than-
your sweats and relax. But I do thank you for your time, and I pray to God that this is an encouragement for someone.
It
Um,
will be.
faces.
It will be.
Yep.
It will be. It will, a harvest will come from this. Yes.
I pray.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you
Because
again.
even not only for the people who are going through, but also for the caregiver. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was
Yeah.
a tremendous point. Great
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Thanks again. We'll talk later in the week.
You're welcome. All right. Love
Okay.
you.
Love you back.
My love to the others. All
Okay.
right.
All right.
Bye bye.